Good morning, everyone. What is going on? This is episode 257 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller, and I'm starting to get a little groove here with doing these episodes daily compared to just doing videos and putting them up. I feel more comfortable doing this way, and I feel like I'm able to put out more content this way, and it feels really comfortable. I know a lot of people aren't used to this yet. And I know this is like the downtime of football season for the Atlanta Falcons or Georgia Southern. So you may not have too many people watching. I got some on my hat. Yeah. And you may not have too many watching or listening, but that's fine. You know, I just want to be consistent with the information and my thoughts and opinions on these two teams. Like I said, episode 257 of the First and Frame Rate Show. Welcome everyone who is here. I talk about Atlanta Falcons football, so talk about Georgia Southern football. Today we're going to be talking some Georgia Southern. Not much going on that back on that end of the spectrum when we talk about football. Still in the no man's land area where kids are going to start coming to the school. Some of the recruits and the commits are going to start coming to the school. I think Zach Roseman is going to be a quarterback. It's going to be, I think, Ashton Whitner is another safety that's going to be coming on campus this month. So that's really cool. And we also have another signing day next month as well. So we're going to get into all that. But like I said, daily content here, so I'll be talking about my thoughts and opinions on both teams. Not much going on the Atlanta Falcons front. Once again, I have it up here in the corner. If you're watching on YouTube, rest in peace, Dan Reeves. Made me really love watching the Falcons with his tenure as coach, even though I didn't really get into it until 93. But when Dan Reeves came, I really was into the team. It was pretty dope. But let's go ahead and get into the topics at hand. It's pretty much just one, and we're going to be talking about the Georgia Southern quarterback position. Man, look, I think we did probably the biggest improvement that I've seen in a long time in a football program, pro or college. We didn't have a pretty good quarterback situation last year. I mean, I know we actually thought at one point that James Graham was going to be our quarterback, and it looked like he was going to be the guy playing alongside with J.D. King, former high school teammates. That didn't work out. So we also did get Cam Ransom on campus, and that was going to be really exciting because I love this kid. And we're going to get and talk about him a little bit more. And Connor Zagelski was there as well, but he was injured. He didn't get to play till late and realize how good he was. But everything hindered on Justin Tomlin. We knew Sam Kennerson was there as well, and Sam Kennerson was going to be possibly a starter at one point based on how everything played out throughout the season. But everything was on Justin Tomlin for the most part. And I think all of us thought that he was going to be like the guy that actually going to lead this team, because at one point he actually showed signs that he can actually run the offense and throw the ball pretty well. To be quite honest, I know I'm probably eating a little bit of crow of this now, but I felt like Justin Tomlin had a better arm than Shy Werts. And looking at this past season, man, we sure miss Shy Werts, right? But that's another subject for another day. He went on to play with Louisville, and best of luck for him, and I think he did pretty well for the most part. But we saw the flashes when we saw Cam Ransom on the field. We ended up making him burn his red shirt because I think we wanted him to red shirt. But in the back of my mind, when I look at the situation, well, I ain't gonna say in the back of my mind, in the forefront, when you look at that situation, I felt like Cam Ransom should have just been starting off the rip. He just had that it factor about him. He was the guy that I felt like he should have been there playing day one, to be honest. I went to the early practices, the preseason practices. I saw him, and clearly I felt like he was the better quarterback out of the three. And on Justin Tomlin and Sam Kennerson, I just felt that he was. He had the presence. He had the makeup. He had the arm. He had the talent. I just felt like he should have been that guy. Now, Connor Zagelski was there, but he was injured early. Didn't know much about him, and I'm going to get into him a little bit later when we talk about the commits that we have. But I'm looking at the situation now. I I still can see Cam probably being the starter, but with the new coach and everything, this is probably going to be a wide open competition for anybody and everybody who comes in. And Coach Helton already, put he kind of put it out there without saying when when he recruited two more quarterbacks. He ended up getting. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he just recruited two. He possibly recruited three, and I'm gonna talk about that third one as well. First, he picked up Zach Roseman. I mean, did you see like the latest picture of him on Twitter throwing a medicine ball? I mean, that dude is like he's pretty strong. But yeah, he was out there, he got recruited and turned right around. We got David Dallas, and David Dallas looks like he looks like a playmaker. So you got those two guys. And you already had Cam Ransom, who's also, capable of making plays. He's a playmaker as well. And now you're hearing about this other possible recruit, which I don't want to talk about, the kid from Buffalo, maybe coming to Georgia Southern. He's been offered a scholarship, he's offered, a spot. I believe it when I see it. So I'm not going to get into that right there. But even with the Zach Roseman, David Dallas, and Cam Ransom, and Connor Segelski, those are the guys we got right now. We have a really good quarterback, group. We got a really good group. And I feel that with this possibly being an open, competition, I don't know who's going to be the starter. I mean, like I said, even, Connor Segelski showed flashes of being really good, in the past few games. I mean, like I said, he did okay in the BYU game. And to be honest, if it wasn't for a couple of miscues, he probably would have been pretty good. He probably would have done better in the Appalachian State game. But the BYU game was the game when I looked at it, I was like, okay, if we had a better offense that we was running, we could have won that game. And I already did a video on that. I don't want to go there, or whatever the case may be. I also felt like that in the Appalachian State game, I just felt like we never was able to establish any type of offense, and I think that's one of the problems why what we had in last year. I don't think people say what they want about Justin Tomlin. I felt like he didn't play up to what we thought he could, but I think he was kind of hindered based on the offense that we had. I think a lot of the players on the field was hindered by the offense we had. I think that's why a lot of players were kind of excited to see, Coach Helton come in, and his, and not to knock the last regime or whatever, but it's just now I just felt like the 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I think one of my Twitter followers, Tim on Twitter, shout out to Tim. He always referenced this 1 foot in, 1 foot out from the option to actually having a more of a balanced offense. You can't have a balance when you're trying to run the option. You got to do one or the other. And I will say that it hindered us for like 3 years, maybe 4. I think it even hindered us in the 10-win season because I felt like we should have been a lot better than that. I mean, if we was running I ain't gonna say what if we was running. I think the athletes on the team did well despite the offense that was running. That's how good our athletes, our players were. But that's just my opinion. That's just me looking at it from the outside looking in. But let's get back to these quarterbacks. Zach Roseman, 6'2" and a half, 200 pounds. That's what it says on 247sports.com. He looks like he's ready to go. He's already training. He's already ready to come to Georgia Southern and put in the work. David Dallas, I'm pretty sure he's already ready. David Dallas, every time I watch his film, he jumps out at you on the screen. And I would not be surprised if he goes and have a really good college career. This is going to be a tough one for Coach Helton and the offensive coordinator to figure out who they're going to start. These guys are going to have to put in the work and do something. And then, like I said, you turn right around and you have a Cam Ransom, which we thought that he could have been a runaway. He could have been a runaway starter easily if we would have just. And a lot of people say this as around the Georgia Southern alum and fans. And I never thought about it till now. It's like a lot of the old guard, they valued seniority over talent, and that's where you started to see. You really started to see that this season, because then all of a sudden you started to see guys like Eldrick Robertson. You started seeing some of these other young guys come in and play. You saw a couple of receivers like Derwin Burgess shine. Even with Jalen White, the running back, you start to see these young guys actually see what they can do. So we got talent just sitting there, and we had a lot of seniority sitting on the sideline. And to the detriment, it probably cost us some games. It probably, I don't know. We had a lot of injuries too, but when you look at, even with Cam Ransom, you jump over and you look at Connor Sikowski, and he looked pretty good. And I had people DMing me on Twitter saying that Connor looks like he actually looks like a college quarterback. Not to say that Cam Ransom didn't, but he looked like a guy that belonged. He looked like a guy that was ready and ready to go. So when you have these four guys right here, I'm looking like, man, what are we going to do? I think we're in a really good space. And even though we're talking about these four guys, there's another guy that was recruited and committed to Georgia Southern that I believe that could play quarterback. But I doubt it if he will. But he can play quarterback. If you've seen any footage, and I think I showed it in episode 253 when I was talking about that signing day. If you look at, well, I would say two, but the one for certain, Kevin Speed from Cairo, Georgia. He looks like a Cam Ransom that could play all type of other positions. Because when I saw him play quarterback, that's what I saw. I saw another version of Cam Ransom, but Kevin Speed is playing like secondary. He's playing linebacker. I think I saw him play running back or receiver. I mean, the kid can do it all, but Kevin Speed could play quarterback in college. I think he could be a college quarterback. He looks really good under center or in the shotgun. So, like I said, when I say the Georgia Southern quarterback position is stacked, I really mean this. I'm not saying this just because I'm a homer. I mean, you see the attire, you see the helmet, you know the commentary I make, the content that I make. But I'm looking at this like from a serious, standpoint. We got some good guys that probably they may not start as a freshman, but they got all the tools to be good. They got a lot of tools to actually be really good. And with Cam Ransom already has a year under his belt, we're talking about a situation where, we don't have to worry about the situations that we have with quarterbacks right now. I just feel that if we're going to do anything with it, we need to find a way to get some of these receivers that we recruited and have those guys on the field, and we sling the ball all over the place. And there's another guy that played quarterback, but I think he's probably going to be more of a slot guy as well. Dalen Cobb. Dalen Cobb can play quarterback in college as well, in my opinion. But I think Dalen Cobb would have been perfect for the last offense that we was running, because Dalen Cobb's fast. He's fast. You know what I mean? And I was looking like, wow, this kid got some speed. If we was running the option like we were, he would have been perfect for, Doug Ruse's offense. He'd have been perfect for it because he looks like that guy. But I think overall, I think everybody who was signed is going to be great. But the quarterback position is very important, because you look at all these teams, not just in the Sun Belt, the ACC, the SEC, you look at all over college football, look in the NFL, it all starts with the quarterback. It is a quarterback-driven league in the NFL, and it's a quarterback-driven, landscape in college football. We don't want to admit it. You got to look at it. Look at even with the Georgia Bulldogs, their defense is really good, but everybody's talking about Stetson Bennett for the past few weeks. Everybody was talking about, JT Daniels for the past few weeks or months. Hell, I was talking about JT Daniels. So I wanted JT Daniels to come to Georgia Southern. But, it's very important. You want a quarterback with confidence. You want a quarterback that has a little bit of attitude. You need a quarterback that's fearless, that's going to go out there and ball and give you everything that he wants everything that you want, not only as a coach, but and not only as a teammate, but as a fan, and even for himself. He has to be that guy that wants to go out there and give it 110% every time. Zach Roseman already shows that he's capable of being a leader. He looks like he wants to be one on the offense. David Dallas, like I said, another type of quarterback. It looks like he's a leader already. And one thing about him that separates him from the rest, he just had, like I said earlier, he just has this thing about him where he wants to make plays. He wants to be the guy that takes it all in and return it back out with the same type of energy that comes his way. So if he's seeing, something where the limelight is big and it's bright, he wants to shine on that limelight. He wants to do his thing. And like I said, Cam Ransom is that type of guy as well. He likes to put it out there and wants to be the top dog under center or in the shotgun. He just has this presence about him. It's one of the big things I saw when he was coming out of Florida in high school. It's like the presence. When he was recruited and when he came to Georgia Southern, that was the one thing that stood out. I was like, okay, you got a Shaw Wirtz at the time was still here at the time before he transferred. You had what's his name? Oh Lord, Justin Tomlin. I just got finished talking about Justin Tomlin. You had who else was here? I can't remember. I know it mainly was just those two. But when you saw him come in, along with I think Sam Kennerson as well. When you had these guys come in, and you see a guy coming in 6'3", 210, 220 pounds. And he can move the way he can. He can throw the ball the way he can. He just has this presence about him like, look, I'm ready to do some things. I want to see how this plays out. Because it looks like, I already talked about the first three, the guys that just has a presence about him. The thing about Connor Sigelski, and I talk about him as well, the thing about Connor Sigelski, he has a lot of poise. I haven't seen much of him to actually say whatever the type of it factor was. I didn't even watch any of his film. I only seen what he did in the BYU game and the Appalachian State game. And the BYU game showed me a lot. I mean, he was not afraid. He was not afraid to play a top 15 team. He stared down the barrel and he completed passes. He found a way to not make too many mistakes. And he, like I said, it was at one point we was in position to win that game. And I can't say it's 100% because of him, but he had a pretty big role in it. So that's those four guys right there. And like I said, I doubt if Kevin Speed is going to play. I doubt if Dalen Cobb is going to play quarterback. But with these six guys, we're in good hands if anything was to happen. And I think that's the most important thing. You want to have the stability. And I think we finally got that stability. One thing about Georgia Southern, we've always had the situation where we had the athletic quarterback. I think David Dallas is pretty athletic. You already know how it is with Cam Ransom. He's very athletic. Zach Roseman has like this tall presence, like he's going to stand in the pocket and throw the ball. He has that about him. Like Connor Sigelski has that too. Like they're going to stand in the pocket, look around, and look off a receiver and throw it to someone else. It's not really. How can I say this? It's not ideal to talk about this way about Georgia Southern quarterbacks because I think the last quarterback we really had like this probably with J-Bo Shaw. And shout out to J-Bo. He just got the job at Wayne County as a coach. And because I felt J-Bo Shaw could throw and run pretty well, but he had the poise to actually throw the ball in the pocket from what I remember. And but when you look at these kids that we have now, we have some guys who are just pure, and all four of them, I think they're pure pocket passing quarterbacks that just happen to be athletic. I think one thing about Cam Ransom, they tried to make him do more than what he should have done, but that was because of the offense was catered the way it was. I think Cam Ransom is a legitimate pocket quarterback, but he can take off on you if needed. And just like with David Dallas is definitely that guy. I've seen him do a little bit of everything under center or in the shotgun. I mean, the way he throws the ball, it kind of reminds me that, like I said, he just has like this gunslinger mentality where he can sling the ball all over the field. Zach Roseman has a little bit more pinpoint accuracy on his throws, but he stands tall and throw the ball. And, I think that's something that me personally, I like to see that. I think with Georgia Southern offense and the evolution of it and the ups and downs of it, I think we were really needed to go to a pro style offense. I was not against the triple option, but I felt like with the day and age and me playing in the Sun Belt, we need to adapt to what's going on. Even if we're running a pistol style option, I think that we still need to be more of a more down the field type of team. And with these 4 quarterbacks, I think we'll be fine. I think we're going to do a really good job. Like I said, I think this position is stacked. I think we're going to be in good hands. I can't wait to see what these guys do in practice. I'm definitely going to try my best to go down there and see. I'm definitely going to go down and try to check out the spring games. Because I want to see, hopefully I get to see all 4 of these guys. I mean, I don't know the status of Sigelski and Ransom. I'm pretty sure they're still going to be on the roster. But I don't know right now. But it's going to be interesting to see those 4 guys. Now, if the guy from Buffalo comes down, I mean, now we're talking about a whole different set of situations. Because, I mean, he's a graduate. He already has talent. And not only, he obviously has talent. He has experience. And he's a winner. I think you look in his body, won the Camellia Bowl at Buffalo. And so he knows what he has. Like I said, maybe we have a situation where he comes down and he plays ball and right away, and I'm pretty sure he will. If he's going to come here, he's probably going to play right away because I think this is last year eligibility. And we'll have a situation where kind of like what these other schools in the Sun Belt are doing, just bringing guys in with experience to play, especially on the center. And that's going to throw a wrench in everything because now we're going to figure out who the other quarterback's going to be sitting around waiting. That's going to be really interesting. But like I said, this is a really good problem to have at Georgia Southern. It's a really good problem to have at Georgia Southern. I am not complaining about this at all. But like I said, Georgia Southern football, the quarterback position is looking really good. It is stacked. I think these guys have huge upsides. We still have Cam Ransom here and Connor Sigelski. Those 2 guys can play some ball. They look really good. And with Zach Roseman, David Dallas, and possibly the transfer from Buffalo maybe committing to Georgia Southern, we are in really good hands. We are in really good hands. And it's going to be great to see how that plays out. That's pretty much it for me for this episode. I like to do between 20 and 30 minutes. If you are on the podcast avenues, give me a high rating. I'm not going to ask for a 5-star. Give me a high rating. Just give me a rating that's high so more people can get more eyes on this. If you're on the YouTubes, hit the like button. Share this. Let people know what I'm doing over here. Share the podcast as well. Let other people know. Shout out to a couple of guys on my other channel, State of Franchise. He's been spreading the word. Thank you, brother. I got more content coming over there on the VFcast channel. If you're interested in that, that's my gaming channel. The link should be down in the description if you're on YouTube, or you could just go to the search engine, type VFcast. I should pop right on up. Also, Complimentary Sports, Rennie Butler on Twitter. Thank you, brother, for sharing the content as well and the kind words. Like I said, you guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. I really, really, really appreciate you guys. I cannot thank you guys enough. That's pretty much it for this episode. I thank you guys. I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully the rest of your day goes well. And I will see you on the next one for episode 258. All right, y'all. You take it easy. You guys be blessed. Peace.